I think we're back. Big sad for sure. Internet decided to take a dump for a second. Quick. Can confirm.
We're back.
I think we're back.
I hear you. Looks like it's back. I'm getting an ad now. Granted, it's not 9 ads like RLCS likes to give me, so
That's
probably
cool.
back.
Let's see.
Lord, definitely you were a big factor for that Rising Star draft for me. That definitely gave your team an extra bump. This draft was super interesting. We had some big swings throughout it, and I think that there were some pretty big surprise picks.
There were some big swings and misses. I'll say
every
that.
single year. Yeah.
I don't think you can define the draft. I don't think you can define the draft by that. Yeah, no, we'll get into tier lists, and then hopefully we're back. We'll get into tier lists, and then we'll get into major one predictions, and then we'll give you some more important info. But quick, I think we're ready to jump into the tier lists.
Yeah,
I believe
I'm totally ready.
About as ready as I could ever be, and that means we're going to swap over to a little bit of a smaller screen, and you're going to see us in a little bit of a different location. We're on the top now for you.
Oh, that background. That's my first time seeing that.
Yeah.
I like it.
Get rid of that. But quick, we're going to go ahead and show you, we're going to go ahead and show your tier list first, and you can explain yourself.
For sure.
And here it is. Here's Quick's tier list. This is for every franchise. So he determined this by looking at how the franchise drafted, but not only how the franchise is put together as a whole when it comes to Premier, Challenger, and Rising Star. You take into account all rosters, and you kind of determine where they're going to finish throughout the season.
Yeah. So what I did for this is I went Premier, I went Challenger, I went Rising Star, and I gave every team 1 through 16 points. And then I broke that down, and the teams with the lowest points are at the top. Teams with the highest points are going to be at the bottom there. So go ahead real quick. We're going to touch on the top. So I didn't give the Hibbing Rangers number 1 for any of the draft spots. They are that high up because I gave their Rising Star team number 2. Let me pull that up real quick. Ghosty, Sentry, and Hadron. The only player on that squad who I believe is not a rookie, but Ghosty, somebody who I thought for sure was going to go Challenger, and it was very surprising to see him end up in Rising Star. But, you know, their Premier team is ridiculously strong. They were 4th overall for me. Spade, Boone, and Risser. You know, Risser was kind of a question mark draft for me. I played some 6-mans with him the other day, and the amount that I have seen this guy improve season after season is absolutely ridiculous. I believe his first season he started, I want to say he was in Prospect. It might have been Rising Star. He got picked up late by what was the Minnetonka Barons, now the Green Bay Knights. He got picked up onto that squad with Pink, and I want to say X-Ray was the team back then. Somebody in chat can correct me. But really popping off, looking super strong. Spade and Boone, 2 guys who are rookies this season, but that knew each other coming into the draft. I got high expectations for that franchise overall. In second, I have got the Brainerd Victory. The reason why they're in second is, again, the same thing. I mean, Vox Kai Hams is an incredibly strong
a powerhouse.
roster. Yeah, absolutely.
Powerhouse team.
Qualifying last season, Vox qualifying last season as well, just not able to make it to LAN. I mean, ridiculous. And if Kai is the guy to pull it together and to tie those 2 players together, that, you know, I've got no doubts. Their Challenger team, AO, Parker, and Mystic, a little bit more of a question mark there, but AO being a first-round pick in Challenger is super strong. Ori, Blasky, and Link for Rising Star. Link is a question mark for me, but Ori and Blasky have proven themselves in previous seasons. Ori is a Rising Star champion prior to this. So, you know, they look super strong. Just going to run through it real quick. Bemidji looking great as well. Put my franchise at 3rd, a little bit of a question mark. I think my Premier and my Challenger team are super strong. The Rising Star was the only one that on paper maybe looks like it could be a little weak, and I blame myself on that one. Seer and who was Sokka, is now Takeover. Those two are super strong players. We did a scrim last night, 2 days ago, that went pretty well, but going to look to grow from there. Let's go ahead and I'm going to jump down to the bottom now, Stewie. So I've got St. Paul down at the bottom. We'll dive into that one first. Really, the big thing that's holding them back is the fact that their premier team, they took a first round pick that
isn't going to play for like
won't be able to play until the first major at
exactly.
The earliest. They have a player who's going to grow in value as we start to enter the first trade window. I think that Caden has the longer the season goes, the more valuable that he's going to be. So
it's
if
like
they're stuck.
Sorry, it's like a mid-season like pickup. Like
Super strong pickup for the second trade window. Absolutely. I think coming out of the first trade window, if Caden was on the free agent list and able to play, every single franchise would be probably looking at trying to get him
licking
onto
their chops to pick him up. They all
didn't
want
qualify
him.
for land last season, but the season before, him, Volt Destroyer, and Marty were one of the top teams in the league. They auto-qualified going to land, didn't even have to go through play-ins. But that is kind of a big question mark holding back that franchise. Let me pull up.
I'm curious as to why you put Duluth in D, and with the premier team they drafted. Can you possibly elaborate on that?
Yeah.
Because their challenger team is decent too.
Mm-hmm. Their challenger team was number 2 overall for me. I had my challenger team first, going into that. Delfino and Rob are previous buddies, and TKD falling to third round is arguably criminal. He's made it to lands in seasons past. He's been previous first round picks for challenger. So I put myself there, but I put them right behind me. Views, Fluffy, and Flo are 3 super strong players. I believe Flo has a Rising Star championship. If somebody in chat can correct me.
Maybe. I don't remember. Possibly.
I believe so. But no, so the reason why I have them down there is the Rising Star team is a big question mark. I believe that's pretty much all new players except for K-Easy and Bladed Bay, who were subs last season for Rising Star, I want to say. But their premier team has Wesley, and I was talking with Wesley heading into draft because I really like to draft people who I know will work with me and will put in the extra work just because of the chemistry there. And he isn't going to be super available because of his work schedule. It sounds like he's
already not playing this week.
Yeah, it's going to be every other week that he'll be available for this season.
I mean, so from insider info from that roster, they have told me that he is not playing this week, but he's scrimming. I mean, they are playing. It's not like they're not playing together. It's just, like you said.
We scrimmed them, but, it's whether teams are taking the scrim serious or not, we can call it one way or the other, but we beat them 6-2 over the course of an hour scrim. And I think that my premier team is possibly one that people have a question mark on when it comes into this season. So yeah, that's really the big thing holding back Duluth down at D tier for me. St. Cloud, I think maybe not necessarily a deserved spot. I think that Prussia is one of those GMs that's able to see things that normies like me don't see going into their season. I think that their premier team is very strong. Their Rising Star team has Debu. Last season popped off at LAN. Their challenger team is the one that's the big question mark. They went Rage, who, again, previous challenger experience, past season a rookie that didn't play in any combines. We went because he has stuff come up that didn't allow him to be able to play. And then 40, who, again, another player who is seasoned in this league. But, the B tier can shift up to A tier. I think they could shift down to C tier depending. It's kind of up in the air from there.
I think overall your tier list is pretty well rounded. The one I disagree with is Duluth way down there. That's all I'll say. Other than that, everything looks fine. I mean, you're giving me B, I'll take it. B's not bad. Everybody else has put me at the bottom. They put me at D tier, so it doesn't matter if it's my team or not. If it's a different one of my franchise teams, but I think there's a couple that I definitely question, for sure in A tier. But other than that, Quick, I think you made a good tier list, my friend, and
we'll take it.
We'll hop over to mine, and here's what my tier list looks like. It's similar to yours. It's not bad, but I take into account overall everything, and there's a reason why I have some teams where I have them. First off, got to put my team in B tier. Need them in B because, we're B. We're good, but we're not the best, but we're good. We'll see what happens at the end of the season. If you're wondering why there's two teams in D tier, unfortunately, Grayson and Chicago just kind of drew the short end of the straw. I was looking for a team to put down there with St. Paul, and you were kind of it. But
what's holding them back for you? Because
for me,
it's their challenger team I've got up high.
Their challenger team is okay. So their rising star team, I think Doty will be very good for them. I think Sharkbite is an underrated third, but I just don't see their challenger team working out as well as. I mean, I love DeCarlo, I love Kolbs. Eli was somebody who was on my radar in draft time, but I just don't see a like a true leader in that team. I just don't see somebody who's going to take control of the team. And you could say Kolbs because he's the oldest on that roster, but I just don't see him taking advantage of the young talent he has around him. But and I'm sorry, Grayson, but if Gusky does not show up, I don't know if your team is going to be very good. I'm going to be honest.
That was the big question mark for me as well.
If Gusky ain't playing, you ain't winning. That's for damn sure.
They're struggling to get some scrims in, is what I was hearing from that roster.
I mean, I will say Remix is good. I've seen him play. He's definitely a very, very good player. I can't discredit you guys for that. And when Gusky's playing, you guys could be very, very good. It's just, I think there are certain circumstances that just don't really push me over the top for you. But
CTN, you're one of the reasons why Bemidji is up at A tier for me. I think that as long as the two guys below you can figure it out.
All right, and then St. Paul, unfortunately, it's the Caden factor again. Yes, I love Crispy. He's an amazing player. Actually, has dazzled me in the past couple of seasons about just how good he is, how he really isn't a third round pick. But I like Sean too. Sean's a really good player for their premier roster, but Caden, again, the question mark. And then, thinking about this again, I think St. Paul's team, their challenger team, could be very, very good. It's just going to depend on how much they want to put in. And then they have a rising star team that is going to really be dependent on one player. And again, it's just a risk I'm not willing to take. The three teams in C tier, you have Fargo. Again, it's another team that is going to, I don't want to say something's going to happen in the trade window, but it's a team that I could likely see making a change depending on what happens. And that's in all three leagues, actually just two. I won't say Rising Star because I have no idea, but Burnsville, another one. We'll see what happens with their premier team. Their challenger team, it's going to depend on how much Slay Panther's willing to put in. And their Rising Star team is the one bright spot for Burnsville, is the reason why they weren't in my D tier, or even in, I'd argue they could be in B, to be honest. That Rising Star team is going to be surprisingly good, and I can see it happening. But Bloomington has, again, the issue with me is I think they might have the youngest premier team, one of the youngest we've ever seen, despite last season's Des Moines. But again, it's comes down to they don't have a leader. I just don't see a leader out of the three that are there. It's Endwater and Tricky. I just don't see a leader between those three. I can't see it. And
he has a lot of high tier experience. He played for the U of M, I believe.
We'll see what happens. I'm not sure about that, but their challenger team could be very, very good. Clash is an incredible leader, has great comms, and I'm excited to see what him and Schlunkers do. But we'll see what happens with Bloomington. But going into B tier, these are kind of middle of the pack teams, kind of me and my franchise, and then I think Omaha is the question mark here for me. Tater, Bubbly, and Daffy. that could be a very, very good team. Depends on how much time they want to put in, though. I know Bubbly has been grinding the game a lot lately, has been really, really trying to, just be as on as possible. And I think he's going to excel his team. Their challenger team could be very, very good. It depends on how much time they want to put in. And then we'll see what Rising Star, what Lundo is willing to do. But I think getting Wasty is a good pickup. It's just, again, his availability was not good. But this was hard for me to do. But to Dicey, Rochester being in B is a little bad because I was not a fan of their draft. Their challenger draft was not insane. Their Rising Star draft was not unreal either, and their Premier team, I mean, they picked up players who have historically had problems with pace. And
well, not even just that. I mean, Fishy, we know, hasn't been putting in a ton of hours heading into the season. I believe his sign-up specifically says that he's not putting in a ton of time.
Yeah, and I mean, talking to Bubbly all the time, he tells me Fishy could care less about the game at this point. I mean, he plays, but I don't know. That's just why they're so low for me. And then obviously you've got the 4 in A. I think Mankato's team is going to be surprisingly good. I just see a lot of structure with Mankato's Premier team, specifically with how they're built. You have got a great frontman in Ambrosia. You've got Fusion Bleach, a great midfield player, one of the best in the league. And you've got Nightfang, who I know is a third man in general, has played slow all his life. And you get Gatman and Challenger. You get two players who fall to you in Chips and Lord. That's going to be a powerhouse. And then the Rising Star team, Bloodout leading the troops. It's going to be him and Z-Small that'll really bring that team to light. But Des Moines is another team that I think is going to be super good. I would argue they could be an S tier team, but I can't put them in S because they just lost their first Challenger Series. They played it already, and they're already 0-1. So I had to put them in A.
Who did they lose to? Was it Bloomington?
They lost to Bemidji.
Bemidji, yeah.
Yeah. So St. Cloud in A. I just like how Prussia drafts. Always has a good draft. Has a very good challenger team. Already scrimmed their premier team a ton. They're going to be a problem for sure. And I will say, Timmy, Avamas is definitely a premier player. You have heard it here first from me. Challenger, 40 and Rage are going to be a problem for sure. The fact that 40 went all the way down in Challenger is surprising to me. That Rising Star team, I just like their two, Rayo and Debu. I love them. Overall, two really, really good pickups that I think Precious stole, definitely. Debu is a player that was a problem last season, but
how many clips are in our montage at the start of it?
From him, from him and his team. So I'll say the three S tier teams, there's a reason why those three are at the top. For one, Kai probably got the best draft he could possibly get. Got the best premier team by far on paper. One easily. Hibbing, two, another team that drafted well in Premier, but specifically in Challenger, that is going to be a very good Challenger team. And I can see their Rising Star team being a problem too. And I will say that Green Bay, you had a very good draft as well, and their premier team is going to be good. It depends on how much hours they want to put in, but their premier team could be very good. Another team that is very structured wise, Volt, a player that can play midfield, can play third man, traditionally has been a third man, but Mamba, a similar player that can play second or third, depending on what they want to do. And I let Angel cook. That should be a good team. Delfino, Robin, TKD, very good challenger team. Don't know how the hell they got put together, but they did. And I think you in Rising Star have always been a sleeper player. I feel like your team could be very good in Rising Star. So that's kind of why you made my S tier. But so far, bar none, Brainerd had the best draft.
Yeah.
They get AO back first round. They had a great season last season with him at the helm. Why not pick him up in Challenger? They got Vogs, arguably the best scoring player in Premier last season besides Mogi. Shout out Mogi, but they got Kai, who is a player who can pretty much play with anybody, and Hams, who was on that Fargo team that was amazing. So
Our S tiers are pretty dang close.
Yeah.
I think.
And
The
I think
bottom and
they're
the middle.
correct, though. I mean,
Yeah.
Hibbing, I would say the question mark for me is their premier team. I don't hate the
Think
pickup
so?
of Rister. I don't hate the drafting
Over
of
the
him.
Rising Star team, I think Hibbing's Rising Star would be a bigger question.
We'll see what happens, but
Yeah.
Hadron has historically had success on every team he's been on. Ghosty falling to Rising Star is a little scary. But Spade and Boone, those two are hyping each other up so much. They're really putting the rest of the league on notice. Pretty much saying quick that, well, if you give us each other, we're just going to win the whole dang thing. Well, put your money where your mouth is. And if you want to be on the same team, we let you be on the same team. Now, show us why you are going to win the rest of the season out. But,
there's two teams that did that. I want to say, was it Swift on Bemidji was the other one?
yeah, Sauce and Swift know each other. So, but for me, they're in B tier just because of that team. I have no idea. Gavalanche is kind of a question mark for me, but
I want a Gavalanche. I don't know if he's going to be a second round player is the only question.
Yeah, and that's where I was questioning it. Yeah, that's where I was questioning it. And not to mention, they would be higher, but they would actually be lower, but their challenger team just won a series. So I have to put them in B at least because they're already 1-0. So
right.
But I think that'll wrap up our tier list quick. I think we're good with that. But what else were we gonna do? Major predictions, were we not?
Yeah, so we're only going to touch base on the first major here. Like we've already both mentioned, definitely a handful of these rosters are going to be looking to make changes immediately heading into this first trade window. So to try to make any sort of predictions past that, and the first major, how it turns out could very well impact the changes that teams make heading into the second trade window and therefore heading into the second major. So it's just too much to try to call the whole season at this point. But I definitely think that it wouldn't be too far-fetched to put the top 4 teams heading into the first major. How do you want to do this, Stewie?
Here's what we're gonna do.
Back and forth, or
here's what we're gonna do. I'm going to pull up. I'm gonna pull up all the logos in OBS, and you are going to tell me. You were going to tell me what you're going to give me 4 teams, and those 4 teams are going to be the top teams out of each major. So those actually you're going to give me 3 teams out of the 16 for all 3 leagues. You are going to give me the 3 major winners. That's what you're going to do.
Oh, just the winners.
You're going to predict the major winners. How about that?
Easy enough.
Easy as pie.
The numbers that I put in heading into my tier list anyway kind of represent who these.
So who is your number 1 team in?
Yeah.
Who is your number 1 team in Rising Star?
So for Rising Star, number 1, I've got Burnsville. That roster on paper looks just absolutely nuts. That's the season 8 sheet. We're gonna get this moved over. So Mal, Jake, and Black Belt. I've talked with Mal a little bit on this. This is a team that has huge potential. Jake, somebody who has played in previous seasons. Black Belt, who tore it up. Did you break something?
No.
Whoa. Okay, no, I just hopped up.
I didn't even know I could do that. All right, I can get. Sorry about that, friends. I can get rid of that. Apologies. I didn't even know I could do that. That's sick, but.
No, I've got Burnsville. I think that they'll take down the first major. I think it'll be tight. I've got Hibbing coming in second and then Mankato coming in third. But Bemidji is a close pick between any of those 3 other spots. I think that Burnsville just has a little bit more of an edge, at least as far as rosters stand currently. But, it's definitely still up in the air. We've got a few weeks. We're going to have 5 games before the first trade window even opens up for these guys to make any sorts of moves and whatnot. But
Okay,
As far as
I think I have it. Sorry to cut you off, my friend. I think I have it. Here's what we're gonna do. We are gonna create something called Quick's Picks. Now, Quick, you yourself are going to select the major winner for each league, for Major 1. Okay?
Cool. You want me just to go down the line?
And I will, once you select your winner, I will display the logo on screen. But this is what we're going to call it. We're going to call it Quick's Picks. Okay? Once you select your winner, I will display it on screen. So, for Rising Star, who is your Major 1 winner?
It's Burnsville, hands down.
Okay, simple enough. So I need the Inferno logo.
I'll that one up. Yeah. I mean, I'm ready to move into the next one. I think that the first two are pretty easy. Premier's the only one where I've got any sort of question marks.
I guess. Let me get this centered on screen. All right, Challenger. Apologies, friends.
You know, we talked about it prior. There's a reason why you put my team up in S. I bumped him down to A just because of potential question marks I could see the league having, but I think that my team will be taking down the Challenger Major. You know, last season, 2 seasons ago, man, how long has this been? SCSU LAN was 2 seasons ago. Crazy strong team heading into that. Unfortunately, had Mimic who wasn't able to make it, and that sub really kind of put a big dent in the team. I wouldn't blame him specifically. One of my players had a late night on a party bus. I'm not going to say who, but that guy rolled up at like 4 in the morning to the Airbnb that we were all staying at. But no, Challenger is one of the most confident drafts that I have season to season. So I have Green Bay taking down.
You have Green Bay winning the Challenger Major. All right. Well, clip it now because Quick thinks the Green Bay Knights are going to win the Challenger Major. All right. Premier
is tougher. I have 3 teams that I think, 4 teams that I think could realistically take it down single-handedly. One of these teams I gave the edge to, well, I guess 2 of them kind of get an edge based upon the players who they have and the fact that they wanted to play together. So that kind of spoils it a little bit, but I think I'm going to give the edge to the Bemidji Lumberjacks. Sauce, you know, incredibly high salary, incredibly high level player. He wanted to play with Swift. So the fact that those 2 guys are going to get the opportunity to play together, I think is huge. Gavalanche played for me last season in Challenger when I was the AGM for Burnsville, and he's an extremely adaptive player. He can be super mechanical, he can be super aggressive, or he can be super defensive. The guy is dangerous from anywhere on the field. The amount of ball control he has is absolutely crazy. He deserves to be in Premier. And, you know, I said earlier, maybe I thought he was more of a 3rd-round pick, but I think in this squad, it doesn't matter. The fact that it's a 1st and a 3rd-round pick that are going to be locked in and playing together, Gavalanche can kind of mold himself to be anywhere, and I'm expecting high things out of that team.
Okay. I'm not going to say whether I disagree or agree because this is your picks, so this is your selections, but now that we're over that, we have got some important info to give everyone. Quick. I think we're ready to just touch base on what that important information is, and I just realized I forgot to bring it into OBS, Matthew. 1 second, I think I have it, and I do. All right, it is not showing up, and there it is. All right, sorry about the delay, friends, but some small information on LAN that we are going to plug really quickly. Jersey and LAN tickets are on sale, Quick, and they're on sale now, and you have to get in now because that first wave closes next Monday, and that is April 8th.
So that wave is only for if you want to for sure have the jersey heading into the first major. We're in talks of trying to set up a watch party somewhere. So if you guys are in the cities area, you want to be able to show up to that watch party, repping your franchise, definitely recommend getting that order put in. You only got, what, 5 more days?
Something like that. Yeah, it's till next Monday. So that is when that cutoff goes, but your jersey will arrive before that first major. And you'll have your ticket done too if you want to get that combo. But you see the prices for each individual, and it makes no sense for you to buy each individual. I mean, no statistical sense at all. But that QR code is working. Takes you to that link. But yeah, scan it on your screen and
in chat as well for those of you guys on mobile. Here's the ticket spice link. Something else that we're doing this season, we have done it in other seasons, is we're going to be having spectator tickets. In the past, just based upon the amount that it costs to run our LAN and the amount of players that we have in the league, we've kind of been stuck at offering only player tickets for $30. That is for spectators. It's for players only. This season, we're going to be shifting away from that. We're going to be able to offer player tickets at the $30 tier. That's going to be the same. We also have spectator tickets for $20. So it's a 2-day event, and sometimes family isn't always able to make it for the full 2 days. At $30, the price makes sense if you're going to be coming in both days. But if you're only making it for one, it's definitely kind of difficult for some people to justify that, especially the amount that you're going to be possibly spending in gas just to get there. But this season, we have a spectator ticket. It's going to be $20 for the spectator ticket. Not only that, though, we're also going to be offering a player and spectator ticket combo. So if you as a player are going to be booking it, you've got, mom, dad, girlfriend, friends that want to come attend LAN, you can get your ticket and their ticket for $40. You lock those in now.
Smart.
That's essentially
very, very smart.
Tickets.
Yeah.
At this point, you guys don't know if you're going to be qualifying or not, but that at least allows you to lock in at the spectator price and attend the LAN regardless. You're not going to feel bad about missing out on spending a little bit more and locking yourself out on it. You'll be able to get yourself locked in and somebody else for it. And a large chunk of this money is going towards our prize pool that we have. We've talked about it. It's $1,000 baseline. We have a few things in the works to be able to increase that prize pool even further past that. Looking to hopefully have the largest prize pool that we've ever had heading into this LAN. But we've got the most options ever for tickets here this season, Suey.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. And have to make sure that we talk about why you need to get your ticket before that first major. Jerseys that are ordered after that first wave will be available by August 16th. That is the day before the first day of LAN. All jersey orders will close for the season on July 4th of 2024. So that means you have until July 4th pretty much to get your jersey. But jerseys, I saw them last season where I always love jerseys. I have my Miracles one from season 7, so it's a little bit different, a little bit older, but
these new designs are awesome. I personally prefer the fit on them. I think that they look way cleaner. They're a little bit more breathable than the last one. It's not quite as thick of a material. They're absolutely awesome. Yeah,
and I'll just quick show the prize pool for everybody. What are you playing for in MCS season number 9? Well, $1,000, like Quick said, and that's going to go up depending on what happens as far as sponsors go. So we could see that number increase. But
we've got sponsors. We've got in the past, we've done the Burnsville Black Market. We're possibly looking to pull that back in, maybe have some raffles, some on-stream stuff for you guys. We'll definitely have some more announcements coming up, but looking to increase that prize pool. That's really the most that we can make it based solely on ticket sales. It takes a lot. It costs a lot to put together these LANs, as you guys can all imagine. You got venue fees. You've got to rent out equipment usually for all that kind of stuff. It's a lot of work and effort, time and money that go into this sort of stuff. So that's the base that we can offer, and we're really hoping to be able to raise that up with the help of sponsors in the community. But not to harp on that too much. We're gonna have the season's just starting. That's not even something that we're
it's not. Yeah, no. Season. We're in week 1. Season's starting up very, very shortly, but Quick, I think overall we've touched base on really everything, have we not? I think.
Yeah, I had a few hot takes.
Yeah, you can bring those up because that would be awesome if you can do that while I get I can get the stream schedule, the match schedule for week number 1 ready if you want to give me some time.
No. So I reached out to the community yesterday looking for your guys's hot takes. So coming out from Bryant, he's going to claim that this is a cold take, but he's saying that Bubbly Reaper is the best MCS player. And I think that there might actually be some merit to that. You know, maybe he doesn't have a championship. He's shown up at LAN prior in season 5 as the underdogs. He made a huge run with Magic and Zodak on the Miracles. That was a huge, he absolutely showed up on that, but there's something to be said where maybe it's not necessarily the player that goes first round that's the best MCS player, but it's the player that's able to round out any squad. And I would be willing to argue that Bubbly Reaper could likely be that player for Premier.
I agree.
But Brian says it's a cold take. I think that there's some merit there. Fours shot me what we might call a cryptic message here. Fours, the GM for the Duluth Superior, saying someone is going back to back this season.
I don't know about that.
He might have meant back to back for St. Cloud, or we've got these other, or no, St. Cloud last season did pull it off, I believe.
St. Cloud. What are you talking about?
Well,
what are you talking
didn't
about?
St. Cloud win Rising Star last season too?
Yeah, they did. Okay,
they did,
I guess.
So they could go back to back. CT Nivlak has 2 championships under his belt. He has an opportunity to go back to back to back. He won at SCSU season 7. He won at UWRF season 8. He's got an opportunity. So, based upon the tier list that we saw, I would guess he's not talking about himself. But Bemidji, Bemidji definitely has an opportunity to turn into the trifecta as well. Huge opportunities there, which is funny. The next hot take I have, Ben Noble here brought up what might have been the hottest take I received, saying that this is the highest level of talent MCS has ever had in the first round, but that he thinks that the overall talent has been diluted compared to last season. I think that the third round picks we saw this season would go against that. We had Daffy falling to third round, who is a previous pro, somebody who has incredibly high level talent. We've got Swift falling to third round, Hams falling to third round, Wesley even. Granted, that one could have been due to his own availability, but Risser, somebody who had incredible talent. Fishy even falling down to third. Sean falling down to third. All players who have been able to show their chops in previous seasons in the MCS. Kind of all over the place, and it goes for each league past that. The top picks for Challenger were kind of crazy. There was a lot of players who absolutely could have gone Premier that ended up falling. But same thing for the third round there. We had some players who possibly could have been second or even first round for Challenger. Pops, TKD, Lord. The fact that Lord somehow fell to third round Challenger, thought for sure somebody wasn't going to be willing to take that risk and would have picked him up. That Mankato Challenger team is crazy. Gat, Chips, and Lord.
I think they're the front runner right now to win the whole thing. I'm gonna be honest, I firmly believe that. That
is a hot take, though. I agree, Ben. I appreciate it.
I think overall, Ben hit the nail on the head for sure. In his hot take, I think this season is going to be a lot more competitive than people think it is. Everybody was under the assumption that, we're losing a lot of talent. Yeah, we lost a lot of talent. I'll say that, but we also gained quite a bit of players. I will say that. We got a lot of new players from, Wichita. Good Lord, a lot of Kansas guys.
Stewie, this season we had the most signups over the first 2 weeks of signups being open. Sure, going into draft, it was looking like it was a little tight, but we didn't have as much time as we've had in previous seasons going into it. There's only 3 weeks from the time that we opened signups to when draft happened. And over that amount of time, we hit the most amount of signups required in order to make the league happen. So
yeah, Kansas has joined the league. That's what I'll say quick. Kansas has decided to join the league. The entire capital of Kansas has decided to join the league is what I'll say. Good Lord. Those guys really, they came and joined it. Yeah. And that's where I was speaking to, Spade and Boone. is like, put your money where your mouth is. You're coming into uncharted territory quick. And no, this is not OnlyFans.
Night Fang on the Atlas, yeah.
But
Obvious, he's from Kansas.
But it's gonna be very, 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 very quick. But we'll see what happens quick. I think overall we could see a really, really strong season for some of the top teams. But I'll just ask right away, you've been involved with MCS for a long time. How has it changed since that first season? Were you here the first season? Because I haven't been here only since season 5. I joined midway through season 5. Everybody knows the story. How I got picked up and got almost perfect swept in my first series. I think it was close, but
no, I've been here since season 1. I found out about it at I want to say what used to be the land at 10,000 Lakes. I have this. That was from season 4, I believe. I stole it out of a bathroom at the venue like 2 years after we had done the event.
That?
Yes, he does. No, that's I've been here since the absolute beginning, and this league has grown so much, not just in the amount of players, in the talent that we have. Premier now would absolutely stomp on what would have been Premier back then. We started where this was a league where you just get 3 buddies to sign up, get a 4th if you can happen to have a sub, and you guys get to compete and have some fun. COVID hit. We weren't able to do in-person LANs, even though at the time when this league started, we wanted to be doing that kind of stuff. Got forced after the first few seasons to kind of just do it online. Finally got our shot at Black Ice. For the OGs out there, who happen to be able to make it to that event, it's nothing like the LANs that we have now. I mean, we're in universities with these massive rooms. We're able to fit 100 people. The amount of production value that we've had grow over the years. I mean, the amount of dedicated staff that we have had. Stu, you've done so much to help this league grow in the professional sense, in the production sense. This wasn't stuff that we had back when we first began. So heading into season 9 now, I don't think any of us could have guessed that this is where we were going to be at. So many of you guys have been here for so long, and you guys are just as important as the rookies who we have rolling in here. Every single person that comes in, whether you're a player, whether you're coming in as a caster, you guys are the ones who make this league as good as it is. So there's only so much we could do.
Exactly.
Yeah, Grand City Giants would roll Prussia. Sure, we'll say that. Half of Dicey's championships came from back then. I'm pretty sure.
Honestly, yeah, no, Dicey's been here since the Stone Age. They were carving back then. They were carving wheels out of stone. That's good Lord. It didn't even know what was going on back then. It wasn't even Rocket League. It was more like some form of game that Dicey and Prussia just decided to create. Don't even know how that created.
I don't think I know how to flip reset. Back
I will
then.
say though, like we can talk about records too, because there's still some records that still stand today from way back. Season 1, the assists record is still held from season number 1, and I don't think it's ever going to be beaten.
Who's got that?
Calster. It
Calster's
is
the assists record?
Yeah, assists in a game. It's 7, I believe, maybe 6. Goals in a game, I think, is 7. But nobody has touched that record, the assist record, in multiple seasons. But we'll see what we get out of those whatchamacallit, out of this season, if we can break any records quick, because I don't know, Prussia
we break some every season. I mean, I think we broke some at LAN, didn't we? Did we ever determine
we broke the saves? We broke the saves record at LAN for an entire series. We did not break any of the shooting. I think the shots record's still from season 6. Shout out your boy. The saves record's still from season 6. Those are all from the same game. But I think overall, quick, we haven't really broken any records in a couple weeks. But all right, we've been stalling for long enough. I think I'm ready to show you guys the schedule for tomorrow. It is not final, as it could change depending on reschedules, but here's your match schedule for the first week of Rising Star, week number 1. You got the Lumberjacks and the Derecho going at it, the Maulers and the Steelhawks, Flyers victory, Senators Inferno. And
do you want to give predictions real quick here?
I think that would be a good idea. Yeah, I think that'd be a very good idea. Actually, you just, really just read my mind. We can go team by team if you want to, and just go off of who we think is gonna win. But overall, I think in that first series, Quick, you have got a battle being waged between the Lumberjacks and the Derecho. That one has already been played, has it not? Wasn't that 3-0 for the Lumberjacks? I'm pretty sure it has.
Yes,
yeah.
That one was the one that occurred already.
Yep. Okay. So that one is already done. I hear the dogs are having a party.
They sure are. The wife just got home.
Oh, yeah, that's why. But Maulers, Steelhawks. Who do you think's going to win that? You have got Bloomington, who is Clash, Slonkers, and Flamethrower, taking on Dorka, Ren, and Blue.
Yeah,
Thank you, Ben.
So
Challenger
Ben,
was played.
Yeah,
that was Challenger, not Rising. Thank you, Ben.
I would still have Bemidji taking that one.
I agree. Yeah, I still have Bemidji winning that. I still have Bemidji over T-Jack, who is his former teammate last season. That is tough to say. But yeah, no, I think I'll have Bemidji taking the first one, and then hot take, but Bloomington's gonna win that pretty handedly. Shout out Clash.
In agreement.
What else do you think? Flyers victory. I'm going to go with the victory on this one.
Same.
Ori and Blasky is two really good players. And they're taking a Rio, Debu, and Watermelon. And I think this would be the win. Yeah, sorry, Rio.
Is this his rookie season, I want to say? Yes, it is. Well, another one of the Kansas boys. Here's a chance for you to show off.
Chance for you to show us up. St. Paul and Bloomington, or St. Paul and Burnsville. Burnsville. Yeah, I'm taking Burnsville. Caesar, I guess you could say, would be a problem, but Burnsville is our number one for a reason. Yeah, I agree with you. Quick, I think we covered everything. I think we're ready to say goodbye for the night, but Quick, if you don't have anything else, I think we're ready to say goodbye, and we look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Some Rising Star action to kick off the season. It's another season of MCS. Another great week of Rocket League is upon us. And Quick, thanks again for being a part of this and for helping me run overtime. It's always a blast. And I think we're ready to send it off. Appreciate everyone showing up. Appreciate everyone dropping their hot takes, listening to us ramble for an hour. And our hour is up. Our time is done. And the time is now, Quick, to hop over to week number 1 of Rising Star. We'll see you at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time tomorrow for some more Rocket League Midwest Championship Series action.